Okay, so I'm going to show you today how to make this little video intro that I did. I'm going to show you how to make it in less than 15 minutes. So just to show you what it'll look like, the final version. All right, first thing that you need to do is have your elements all ready to go. The things that you're going to be putting into the video. So I have here all set on my desktop, my logo, my Mortgage Monk logo stacked, the verbiage down here. They're two separate items, and then I'm going to have I have the two MP3 files here that I'm going to be using for sound effects. All right. Next thing is, if you're using a Mac, you're going to head over to Keynote. If you're using a PC, you're going to be going to PowerPoint. So they're both similar programs, slight variations, but for the most part, very similar. All right, here's what the end result is going to end up looking like. But you're going to go to File, so we'll start from scratch. Go to File, New, and what you want to do here is just open up any type of presentation, just regular white right here. All right, now that the new presentation is up, we want to get the size correct. So if you're on this particular one, we're using we're going to be posting on an Instagram story. So that has different dimensions than, let's say, an Instagram post. All right. So to get the size right, Instagram stories are 9:16 ratio. So you're going to head over here, top right corner, the document, and you're going to go to Slide, Size, Customize Slide. And they're asking for points here, pixels. So it's 1080 width by 1920 height. You're going to see that that'll give us the dimensions or the right shape for a story. We get rid of this text because we're not going to be using any text. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to change the view here just to I like the fit slide so that I can see everything that I'm working with. All right. Next thing is we're going to create the final look. So we're going to work backwards and basically show what the slide is going to look like, the end result. So all you do here is take my first image, which is the logo, and it's a little too large, so I'm going to size that down. And to keep the right proportions, I'm going to hold down Shift with my mouse and just make this smaller, and then bring this to center. And yeah, that looks good. All right, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop the second element, which is the Mortgage Monk stacked verbiage. And the same thing, it's just a little too large, so I'm just going to scale that down to about here. Right. And then we'll center that. All right, so now that the image is all in place, the next thing we're going to do is add animation. So for the animation that I used for that drop down, kind of hitting the ground hard effect, I'll show you right now. So you're going to head over here. You'll see that there's three buttons, the format, animate. You're going to click on animate. And we're going to go to build in. So this is basically just how do you want this to enter the slide? All right, so we're going to add an effect, and if you see here, you can preview any of them, and it'll show you right here what effect it'll have on the element. I used anvil here, which is that hard drop, and then that little bit of dust that comes up. So to get that activated, I'm going to hit anvil. All right, now we're going to stop, and we're going to go to this build order button down here on the bottom right-hand side. And basically what we're saying is so if you see here, it has the anvil built in to the logo. So it has the effect built in, and it's order 1, and then we could preview to see what that's going to look like here. All right. The next thing I'm going to do before I head over to the animation for the verbiage is I want to add my sound effect. So I went on zapsplat.com, which is an online website that you can search for any type of sound effect, and they're all free. So all I did was I headed over to splat, looked for a thumping sound, found one that I liked, downloaded it as an MP3, and then saved it. So I'm just going to drag that to over here. Now, this little icon comes up just to show you that there is a sound effect, but you won't see this in the final version. We're going to go back to this build order, right? So the first thing that's going to happen is the build. Number one is that the logo is going to come down in this animated anvil effect. What I want to happen is I want this audio to come down and make the sound as it's hitting. So I want them to play together. So I highlight this thump, I click on here, and I'm going to mark down with build one. That means they're going to happen simultaneous. If I were to hit after build one, then that means the animation would hit and then the sound would come into play, but that wouldn't make much sense. So with build one, and you see it puts them together, and there won't be any delay here. So let's just preview that and see what it looks like. If you want to preview it before you actually save it, you have to hit this play button. Then you just click on the space bar for now. All right, so until we save it as a movie, it's going to be done manual. If you want to see what it looks like, you're going to have to hit the space bar. All right, so let's escape out of that. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over to this element, the mortgage monk, and we're going to build an effect for that. So again, you can play with all of these different types of effects, appear, blur. All right, I used sparkle for this particular video, so you'll see here. All right, so I'm going to choose this one. It's sparkle. All right, and I want this to come after build two. So first the logo is going to come down, and at the same time you'll hear that thump, and then after that I want the monk stacked verbiage to appear. So that's why I put in start after build two. So just real quick preview. That's what it looks like here. I could add a little bit of a delay if I want. For when that happens, but for the most part, they're all going to be happening pretty close together. All right, the next thing I want to do is I got this choir effect, so I'm just going to add this to here, and you'll see that it's separate right now. So I'm going to go to start, and I'm going to say with build 3. All right, so let's just check this out real quick and see how it looks. Preview. Now let's go to play. And I'm going to hit the space bar to get it going. And that's it. So now we have everything down. The next thing is to export this as a movie. So you're going to head over to File, Export to, and then Movie. Now, I put all of these at 0. Because there's just no reason to have any delay in anything. Self-playing, hit next. I'll ask to save this as a different type of file. So I'm just going to call this test for right now. Save it to my desktop. All right, you see it appears right here. And let's just let's check out what that looks like. So hit play. Actually, this is the new one right here, test. Let's hit play. And that's it. So if you want to make a different, animation or a different type of slideshow, I mean, that's basically all it is. You can add different elements, play with how they appear. Over here, you'll see that there's build out options, so you can have something be built in one way and then exit a different way or with a different effect. So hope you found this useful. If not, or if there's things that I left out, I haven't made too many of these types of videos to explain to someone how to do it. So if I've left anything out or if there's still questions, just shoot me an email or a direct message and I'll be happy to walk you through it. All right, thanks. Have a good one.